Hi, welcome back to week 5 of the Can I Borrow Your Skin podcast. I am your host, Angelique Clemens, and all month in January, I've been talking about health and wellness. January has 5 weeks this month, and so I figured I'd pull in some bonus content with health and wellness for me. One of my favorite things and relaxes me the most is going to be football. I am sad because football is coming to an end, but college football is done. But NFL is coming to an end, but it sustains me most of the year. And so I am lucky for that. This episode is actually being shot in 2 parts. So, part one, I am sitting here with a good friend, and this is Diallo Johnson. He is my guest today. For those of you that don't know him, because you might live under a rock here in the state of Michigan, this is Diallo Johnson. He is an All American high school player. He went to Orchard Lake St. Mary's Prep School. They won the state championship in 1994. He was smart enough to then go on to the University of Michigan, go blue, and they won the national championship in 1997. I was actually on band that year and was at that championship. And finally, he was actually inducted into the Catholic League Hall of Fame in 2000. Welcome, Diallo.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This is great. So, being a woman who grew up knowing football and have the football culture, like I said, I also went to Michigan. I was in marching band during the national championship that you played on the team with. And so I was at all the games, traveled to all the games. I knew football well before I got to college. And I know that I am not the norm when it comes to women and even some men. And with the Super Bowl only a couple weeks away, first of all, who you got? Who you think's gonna make the Super Bowl? Keep in mind, you guys, we don't know. This is being filmed in December, so we still got a couple weeks left in the season.
I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams for the NFC.
Okay.
For the AFC, I'm thinking the Pats.
The Pats?
Yes.
Okay, so my team has already been officially eliminated, which is sad because we do that a lot. I know I am from Detroit, and I will support the Lions. They have grit like no other team. But I grew up liking the Raiders, and that was 100% my dad. He was a huge Raiders fan. My mom was a huge Steelers fan. So in our house, we weren't wearing, the Honolulu blue and gray. I was always black and silver. And so that's where a lot of my loyalties lie. But I think the Rams might pull it out. I think Denver's a good team.
Yes.
Denver is a very good team right now. While I want the Lions to do it, they've been so close for the past 2 years. I honestly think Denver might pull it off. And if not, Bears maybe?
That might be. That'd be shocking if the Bears pull it off. I think they're in a good place right now, just with the new coach.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson is getting those guys playing well. They're feeling good. So I think a lot of times people don't understand that when you're feeling good, you play a lot better, play a lot freelier than you would if you're uptight. And I think the Bears been having a long history of not having
Getting
good
loose.
teams.
Yeah. And see, and that's one of the things too. And I think this is where and how the Lions were a year or so ago.
Probably about 3 years ago.
Yeah, did so well is because they shocked the world.
Yes.
Nobody was expecting, like they thought we were a sleeper, and they came up and they shocked the world. And so people weren't prepared for the Lions. They weren't prepared for what they did. And when you have players like St. Brown just killing it and making crazy catches, and you have Sonic and Knuckles, just that tandem and wearing down them lines, you couldn't do nothing. Like we were wearing down defenses. And then, I've always liked the defensive side of the ball. I've always liked the defensive side of the ball. And so I got to give it up for Michigan alum, Hutchison. My household, we call him Baby Hutch. The adult Hutches, that was my generation. Yeah. So
And a lot of people don't know his dad played at Michigan.
Exactly. Like I said, that's my generation.
Yeah.
And so I call him Baby Hutch because I knew his dad and how his dad played and his dad's style of play. And so, you have to give respect to that. And,
Yes.
so that was one of those things. And I'm always going to support the blue and follow where the blue went. And, it's one of those things that, and as you can speak to, being a Michigan man, that don't leave you.
Oh no, definitely. I'm a little hurt by the performance we did against Ohio State, but
Who ain't hurt by that? Like,
I'm hurt, but
I can't. I have my Michigan sweatshirt over there, and if I get cold, I'm throwing it on. But like, it's 100% go blue all the way. Being the Michigan man never leaves you,
Never.
and so it's one of those things where I can root for a team, but I'm rooting for the Michigan man all the way, 100% of the time. So we just nerded out a little bit, and honestly, most people who this is supposed to be for people that don't know football, y'all probably didn't understand any of that. May have been like fast forward, and I get that. So let's talk about some of the basics. So the Super Bowl, it's the national championship for pro football. That's pretty much what it is. The best of the best are meeting in one game, and so it's from the National Football Conference, or the NFC, and the American Football Conference, or the AFC. And I'm gonna go real basic for people that don't know anything at all, and they went to the Super Bowl party for the commercials and the food. You're gonna be looking at a screen, a field, and that field itself is 120 yards, and then that's its length, and its width is about 53 yards. I think it's 53 and a half.
53.5 yards.
53 and a half yards. And the whole goal is to move the ball up and down the field. Each team has 4 downs to get 10 yards, at least 10 yards. And you can do it in one of two ways. You can run it or you can pass it. Now, there's strategy involved with this. How many times do you run it to get your 10 yards? How many times do you pass it to get your 10 yards? If you haven't gotten your 10 yards in the first 3 downs or the first 3 plays, then you have to make a decision on the 4th play or the 4th down. Now, it depends on how many yards to go. So you'll see on the screen, 4th and 1 or 4th and 10. Very, 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 very few teams will go for it if it's 4th and what, more than 4 or 3?
Yeah, more than 4, but it depends on the point of the game. But
True.
Starting at the beginning of the game to make it simple for everybody, you have to get 10 yards.
Right.
And normally on 4th down, they normally punt the ball. So you punt the ball and
Which means kick it
you go
to the
down
other team.
Other end of the field. So normally a punt's normally average around 45 yards.
Okay. So you want to get it as far down the field away from your goal as possible. Now, the goals look like, so the colored parts of the field are the goal lines. Now, the goals are 10 yards long. They're 10 yards long. They're still the 53 and a half wide. And so you get that space. And all you have to do is get into that space to score your touchdown. And a touchdown is a play that's worth 6 points. And then you have the point after, which is 1 point if you kick it. It's 2 points if you try to run into it or pass into it. And then you have your field goals, is when you kick it and it goes through the big yellow U. That's called a field goal. And those are worth 3 points. So that's your scoring. And we talked about downs. So I'm trying to think of, so there are certain strategies. Now, I'm going to give you the strategy, and you can corroborate this or you can correct me.
Okay.
As a male dating a human who knows nothing about sports, you want someone that at least has an effort.
Correct.
They want you to try to learn, try to participate. Now, as a female, if I didn't know anything about sports and I'm there with the male and who I'm with and I want to engage in the sport, I'm going to do it either one or 2 ways. I'm going to try to rah, I'm with this, or 2, I'm going to antagonize. Now, if I don't know nothing about sports at all, being an antagonist is actually kind of fun because it shows them, one, that you're paying attention to something that they like, which is a good thing, right?
Correct.
And 2, it gives you a way to poke fun at somebody. And me, I'm the kind of person, I like poking fun at people. And so there's a couple things that are easy to poke fun about. The first one is going to be penalties. Now, and with penalties, there are certain standard penalties that are very clear as day. you always know that they happened. It's on the helmet. There's a guard in front of the face, and if you pull on that, it's called a face mask. And you can pull on it this way from the sides. Those are all penalties. The other thing is called hands to the face. Now those are ambiguous, and that's when you push up. You push up at the gear of the helmet from the neck, or even if you touch the face mask and you push it up like this. Now, if an official calls illegal hands to the face, he's going to do this, and he's going to say illegal hands to the face, and he's going to point at whatever side that the penalty is. Now, if it's your significant other's team, and they're like, "Oh man, that's not," you're like, "Come on, it's clear as day. He was pushing him." How'd that make you feel? Do you feel like you're paying attention?
Yeah, like she's paying attention, but if it's my team, I don't want her to root against my team.
But she don't have to be rooting against your team.
Still, she's rooting against my team. She should cheer when I cheer. Be
and go
mad
boo when I boo.
Yes. So you ladies, just if you were there with somebody, you see them cheering, you cheer, and then you ask what happened. That's how you learn too.
Yes, you can absolutely ask
He'll
what
be
happened.
very, very, very inclined to give you the answer when he's happy. But if something happens, goes wrong, you might wait a minute because he's, and also he might have some money on the Super Bowl game too
yes,
as well.
betting.
Betting is
very common in the Super Bowl, and people do things called buying squares. So always have some cash with you when you go to a Super Bowl party. Squares are as little as 50 cents or $1, all the way up to like I've seen $100 squares.
yes.
You don't have to know anything at all about football to buy a square. In fact, the least you know, the better, because all it's gonna have on the bracket before they tell you what you have is gonna be team names. Everything else, you just pick a random number, write your name in it, give them the money. It's nice because there's a bunch of different ways to do squares. They have the four corners, they have the scores, they have nearest neighbor. Like, you don't have to know absolutely nothing, but you can win a lot of money. So always take some cash to a Super Bowl party.
A lot of times, the person who don't know anything about Super
Wins the
Bowl
most money.
wins the most money.
Be annoying. I'm just like, come on.
That's the one way you can irritate everybody at the party too.
Yes. Win squares money knowing absolutely nothing. It has happened to me several times. I usually run the squares at my Super Bowl party, and I don't think I've ever won money.
Always the person who never know anything about this football.
Yes. It is just like, come on, dog.
Yeah.
Let the rest of us get it to eat. Like, just a little bit, just a little bit. But no, another common penalty is going to be holding. And holding can be subjective. But the best way to do it, especially you want your girl to cheer for you, whenever you see a jersey pull. So if you see like clothes being stretched out on the field, just yell, "Oh, come on, that's holding, ref, come on."
Yeah.
Now, just do that. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely correct on that. Or they hold them on the shoulder.
Yes. Or yeah, you see clothes, or you see someone being pulled backwards, just yell, "That's holding, ref." That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say. It benefits you because it feels like you trying. Now, if you in Detroit, one thing you never say is, "Did they complete the process?"
Yeah, that's not a good word in Detroit.
Not at all. So to give you, for non-Detroiters, Calvin Johnson, very big Detroit legend icon, amazing wide receiver person that catches the ball. He had a win or lose game catch, beautiful catch, in the end zone. Everyone celebrating, should have been a touchdown. They called off the touchdown. They were like, no catch. And everything erupted because they said he did not complete the process of the catch. And what that has now been defined to mean in the National Football League, I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Now defined to mean is that they have the ball with, quote, full control, hit the ground with the ball, and still have the ball. Ball can't move. He can't use the ball to secure the catch, which, and then he can roll and comes up with the ball. Now, that was the first time that ever happened, and then it became a rule. See, as Michigan fans, we already know every bad call, every bad thing that has ever happened that could happen in college football is usually due to Michigan football, and then they institute a rule. This is why, like, the play clock is
Yeah.
now held by the officials instead of in the booth. Michigan State game with the infamous 1 second that lasted 10.
That's a 10. Yeah, it might have been more like 20 seconds.
Okay, well,
Yeah, it was.
it was a long
And they
one.
won the game. But
Yes, I know. I think I was there. But there's I could name several. The whole structure of the playoffs now is because of Michigan, Nebraska
yeah, it's from 97.
from
Yeah.
97. Like there's so many things that have been implemented into football in college and pros because of teams I cheer for. Maybe it's me. So let's see. What's some other things that you could talk about? Oh, very important. If someone is catching the ball along the sideline, so they get near the ends of the 53 and a half yards, they have to have both feet in bounds. And both feet can be, you just drag a toe, drag two toes, do the ballerina toe touch on the sideline, but you have to have 2 feet in bounds in the NFL. In college, it's only 1 foot. And so if you are at a game and you want to sound real smart and a person only gets 1 foot inbound, but not the other, go ahead and say, ooh, this ain't college ball, or that would have worked in college.
Yes. Or also they can have their knee down too as well.
Yes.
Knee count as a foot.
Knee counts as a foot, a butt counts as a foot.
Butt counts as a foot too. It sounds kind of crazy, but it does.
Yeah, you tap that butthole.
Yeah.
You be like, that's that butt.
Yep, that's a catch.
That's a catch. Let's see. Putting your hand on the ground. You're still up and able to run. Forearm is down,
Forearms down, yes.
but your hand is good.
Hand is good.
This is important in the pro, but not in college. If a person catches the ball, stumbles and rolls, they can get back up and keep running if they're not touched by the other team.
So the other team has to at least put one hand on them, or a finger, or a foot.
butt.
Yeah, something. They have to have a contact from the opposite team.
For them to so they can't get up and run.
Yeah, so when you see somebody catch the ball, they might get up and run it anyway, but you'll see the referee blow the whistle to bring the play back.
Yes. Let's see. Interceptions. So if one team throws the ball and it's caught by the other team, whether it's tip-tapped and volleyballed around, that is an interception. If it's your significant other's team, they're going to be pissed. That's where you say, didn't I touch the ground?
Yeah.
Didn't that bounce up? Especially if it's near the ground play, always say it's on the ground. Unless you want to be like me and be antagonistic. They're like, ooh, pick. That's a pick. It's like they lucky it wasn't a pick six. So what's a pick six while I drink some water?
Pick six is where the offense throws the ball and the defense intercepts. It could be anybody on the defensive side. It could be the big man or
I love big man pick sixes.
the small man that's in the back who are checking the receivers when they catch the interception and they score a touchdown. So a touchdown is crossing the goal line with the interception, not getting touched, not getting tackled or anything. So they call that a pick six because it's an interception where
Which is a pick.
They call that AKA pick when you intercept the ball.
Yes.
So they don't call it interception six. They say pick six.
Pick six.
So now that'll kind of make you confuse you a little bit because, you like.
They call them both, yeah.
Yeah. You're like, that's an interception six. No, it's a pick six.
It's pick six. And so one thing I will tell you, all sports fans that watch football love to see the big man, which is a lineman, to get that interception and run it back in for a pick six. Like you cheer for him. Go, big man, go, 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 go. Like I'm out my seat
Because a lot of those
that.
big men are about 340 pounds.
Yes.
So that's a big person.
It's a big man. And I will tell you that 340-something pound man will always be more flexible and more in shape than your itty bitty little yoga person. Because they can do some stuff. They are muscular and they can run, they can bend, they can flex, they can move a semi.
Yeah.
And then do the splits.
Yeah.
But yes, you got to cheer for the big man. If he get that ball, you want him to get that pick six. It is awesome.
Yeah.
And they very rarely get one. They will protect whomever they need to protect. But them big man getting that ball is awesome. And on the offensive side, every once in a while, you will have one of them big men roll out and throw them the ball.
Yes, that's what happens sometimes. It happened last week, matter of fact.
Nice.
Tampa, I think it was Tampa Bay.
Was it Tampa?
They threw their tackle. He was about 6'7", roughly about 350. They threw him a touchdown pass.
That is awesome.
So the whole team celebrated because normally the offensive lineman doesn't score a touchdown.
No, not at all.
So when they do, that excites their whole team.
Always. It's a big deal. It is a big deal. I love it when big men get out there. So another way to turn over the ball is to fumble it. Now you can have people who are, that's the word I'm looking for, not great with their hands.
Yes, but it's not great. Or the defense can take it out your hand.
Yeah, Coach. So as a defensive player, you're taught to go after the ball. Once the person has it, they secured the ball, you going after it. You want that ball out their hands. And so if they fumble it, everyone goes for the ball. Another way to get involved in the watching of the game, if someone caught the ball and drops it, just yell ball. That's it. You ain't got to say nothing else. Go ball. And then everyone's like, fumble, and everyone's trying to go for the ball. But if you go ball, 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 so the ball's out, everyone sees it. And that's also something that you are taught as a defensive player when you are in school. Someone knocks the ball out, you see the ball, everyone yells ball, and everyone starts jumping at the ball. And that is something you're taught as a player. I've never played football, but I do know that. I've dated enough athletes to know ball.
Yes.
So you yell ball and everyone's going after ball, so that's a good thing.
And sometimes you'll see the ball squirt out of people, jump on it, it keeps squirting around. You just like, wow. You just see how that ball just moves when people jump on it, try to jump on it to secure the ball.
And that happens a lot. It happens more in colder weather.
Yes.
Because it's like an ice cube.
Like right now, like in December games right now, a lot of the teams are playing in snow today.
Yes, that is true. That is true. The Super Bowl is where this year?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Because I know it was in New Orleans last year. I was down in NOLA. I want to say it's in L.A. Is it L.A.? To be determined. Super Bowl is in Levi Field, Santa Clara, California. Yeah. So San Francisco. Yeah. So San Francisco does get cold. So... but not as cold as
it won't be snowing. It'll just be a little cold.
A little cold.
Yeah.
So you got that. Trying to see what other notes I got. I want to cover right now in part one. Got any basics you think I forgot? I'm trying to think about it.
No, just when you're there at the game, just make sure who you with, or just if whoever cheers, cheer with them.
Unless you want to be antagonistic.
Yeah. Or then you cheer against the team that they're cheering against or for. You cheer for the other team.
Yes. It's all, I mean, if it's local to you, your neighborhood team made it, wear some neighborhood team gear. Don't be that person. You don't want to be the asshole out there in the wrong gear. Don't be that person. Like, I think it's fun to be antagonistic, but for example, when I was in New Orleans last year, everyone thought the Lions was going to make it. They were so close last year. There were so many Detroit fans down in New Orleans, and to the point where you would have thought you were in Detroit. Like, there were everywhere you look, people are singing "Forward Down the Field." Like, and you saw the Honolulu blue and the grays, and like Detroit took over New Orleans. We shut it down, and that was nice. So, say you're a Michigander, the Lions make it. They're at San Francisco 49ers Stadium, and you're going to a party, and it's being hosted by Lions fans, and they're playing. Who you think is gonna make it? The Rams.
The Rams.
We're gonna say the Rams. You're going to this party. It's hosted by Lions fans. Don't show up in Rams gear. Which one of our running backs? Corum. He's at the Rams, right?
Yes.
unless you're wearing a Quorum jersey.
Yes. Other than that, yes.
That is the only acceptable way to wear a Rams jersey. And I highly recommend it's a split jersey where half of it is Michigan and half of it's the Rams. That's the only acceptable way to do that. Otherwise, you in Lions gear. Wear that jersey with a hat, a Lions hat or something.
Yes. Lions hat, sweatshirt, T-shirt.
Something. You got to let them know, hey, I'm a Detroiter. What up, though? I'm here, but this my boy.
Yeah, you got to let them know he played at Michigan. That's why I have his jerseys on.
Exactly, that part. They're
still going to give you grief, but you're going
to get the business. You're going to get all the business. Every score, every play, they're going to be like, ha, 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 ha. Yes. You're going to get the business, but you want to at least show them that you're not being disrespectful as hell, because you're going to get it. You're going to get it. Especially if you that person that don't know a lot about football, you're going to get all the business. It's all coming.
Definitely.
All right. So what else we got? Because I don't want to take up too much of your time, especially since this is part one.
I think that'd be a good start, though, for somebody who don't know football. Just getting to know you have to get 10 yards to get another 3 downs.
Yes.
So that's the basic. So the basic of football is one team who has the ball trying to get at least 10 yards within 4 plays.
And that's all it is. It repeats over and over and over again. You get them big plays. Big plays are considered 20 yards or more. That's a good thing. But in the grand scheme of things, you're really there to have a good time, support the team of the person that you're with. And if you're not with anybody and you're just going to a Super Bowl party, commercials are cool and all, but
check out the halftime show.
The concert is amazing.
Yes.
But you should try to understand the sport. It's a great sport.
You don't have to know everything. Just cheer when people cheer. And when people start cussing too.
Right?
So
like,
you'll
bullshit.
Fit in.
Bullshit, ref. And then, you suck. Get off your knees, you bastard.
And then they'll tell you why they're booing, too. So,
so
you'll learn. Just listen to people talk about the game. Just listen.
It's not a difficult sport. It's so much easier than banana ball, which I'm trying to get into that right now. It is hilarious. So much easier than like soccer, football. And it's not as easy as baseball. Baseball is probably one of the easier sports to understand, but football is not that far behind it. Mm-hmm. So hopefully between this part 1 and part 2, we'll get them all together and you feel confident going into your Super Bowl party feeling like, all right, I can cheer. I got this. And hopefully, since my team has been eliminated, go Lions.
Yes, hopefully the Lions do make it this year so we can have a good party.
Yes, them parties is what it's for. Go Lions. Okay, so I recorded this in 2 sessions, the football segment, because 1, I really love football, and I wanted to make sure I covered everything that you would need to know about going to a Super Bowl party, being able to interact about more than just the commercials and the food. Again, I'm very thankful for Diallo Johnson, who joined me last time and helped me kick off some of the basic information. We talked about not only his accomplishments on the field, both at Michigan and at Orchard Lake St. Mary's Prep. And then he gave us, some of the overall information, what he as a ex-football player likes to see in a partner who doesn't know anything about football. And now I'm going to, recap some of that stuff. We talked about the side of the field. We talked about just general stuff about 4 downs to get 10 yards. We talked about scoring. Touchdowns are 6 points. Field goals, which is when you kick the ball through the uprights, and the extra points, you're kicking the ball through the upright, but it's after a touchdown. Those are only 1 point. Field goals are 3. And then you have a 2-point scoring chance where you just scored a touchdown. And now, starting from the 2-yard line, you try to get into the end zone again. So that's the scoring. I'm not certain if we actually talked about going for two last week or not. So let's talk about some of the things some of the more advanced things. So, oh, I want to also talk about football standings. I think Diallo and I both gave our predictions last week. We've had a couple more weeks of football, and some things have changed, obviously, with the wins and losses. You know, I'm from Detroit, from Michigan. I am not a Detroit fan per se, but I will cheer for them when they're playing everybody but the Oakland Raiders. They're in Las Vegas now, the Las Vegas Raiders. That is my team. Uh, a long story short, that was my dad's team. I adopted them when I was young. My mother is actually a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. My house is weird. But, so looking at the standings, looks like the Broncos are going to make it because I don't think anybody's going to reach them. And then I said the Bears. The Bears are still doing pretty good, but I think the Denver Broncos and the Seahawks. Seahawks have won 80% of their games. I don't know how or why, but it looks like they're making that push and they may actually do it. So, what are some things that you can actually talk about with people when you're at a game? It's easy to cheer when people cheer, boo when they boo, but there are some common penalties that happen in just about every game. We talked about holding last week. Pass interference is one of them. And what happens in pass interference is the wide receiver. So, usually one of the fastest guys on the team, he runs down the field towards the goal line for his team, and someone on the defense is running with them. So you see two dudes running down the field, and the offensive guy goes for the ball. The defensive guy can do a few things that they will call for pass interference. One, grab the offensive guy. You make it so the offensive guy can't catch the ball, they're going to call that pass interference. In college, you get 15 yards. In the pros, it's the spot of the foul. So it can be a really, really good penalty because you can get 20, 30, 40 yards on that. Another thing the defense can do that can be caused as pass interference, don't actually play the ball. So if you're trying to tackle the player instead of the ball, like you don't turn to look for the ball, they will usually call that about 100% of the time. One of the reasons why they won't is they're watching the offensive guy. He's going to catch the ball, and they just throw their arms in the air to try to make it so they can't catch the ball. They usually don't call that. Another way to get pass interference is you tackle the guy before the ball gets there. That's usually called. Reasons why they won't call it if you're doing some of those things is what they say the ball is uncatchable. So the ball is being thrown out of the bounds, and the ball can't be caught in bounds, or the ball is so far down the field, you would need go-go gadget arms to get to the ball. Now, there is a few other common penalties that you will see. So we talked about holding, where you see the clothes move in one direction or another. We talked about pass interference. We talked about face masks. The other one that you will see commonly in a football game is going to be roughing the passer. And what roughing the passer is for the quarterback. After the quarterback has thrown the ball, if the defensive player runs into him, that's roughing the passer. Like not just a little bump, but like literally tackles the guy to the ground. That's roughing the passer. And so that is normally called, and it can be called quite often, especially in the Super Bowl, because usually the guys that go to the Super Bowl the quarterbacks are sometimes kind of fluffy, meaning soft. You look at them wrong, they're going to call it. I'm thinking of a couple quarterbacks who are quite tender and can't be touched. Can't even look at them too hard or you're going to get a penalty. Some of the other calls, which aren't common in a Super Bowl, but you might see, is going to be roughing the kicker. So after the kicker kicks the ball, you run into him, or he's in his kicking motion and you hit him on the leg and you knock him to the ground. That's roughing the kicker. And then some of those situations, that penalty can usually give the offensive team a first down and they start driving again. You can also get running into the kicker, and that's usually only 5 yards. He doesn't get knocked down or you just bump his foot. Some of those are controversial calls. I will say that as someone who doesn't know football, you're watching a Super Bowl, very few people expect you to understand or know the penalties. But it'll be kind of cool if you go, oh, come on, he barely hit him. People be like, oh, you learning something. Just saying, might be impressive. One of the other roughing calls is when you drive someone to the ground. So if you pick them up and you slam them like it's wrestling, those are roughing calls. Those are usually called every single time. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. At the end of the day, with all the injuries like the CTE and the broken bones and things of that nature, the NFL is trying to protect the players. There are some players who have had bones broken and have gotten concussions and things of that nature where they weren't even able to play, careers. So 10 years, they only have like a 2-3 year career. And so they are trying to, prevent that from happening. And so they've put more penalties and things into the game and changes in the game. Like they no longer, if you kick it into the end zone, they automatically bring it out. I think it's to the 35 now. In college, it's the 25. So they've been doing things because what used to happen, if you didn't call a fair catch, it's putting your arm in the air and waving it when you're going to catch the ball. There were players that would run down the field just to drill you. And they don't want that to happen anymore. And so they have changed a lot of those penalties up. So that is very common to see a fair catch in a football game. I'm trying to think of other common things that you will see in a football game so that you can at least be somewhat educated about what you're going to watch and why that is important to kind of know. I mean, like I said, I'm antagonistic when it comes to football, but I know football a little bit better. If you are newly dating somebody, probably cheer for the team that they're cheering for, because that will actually get you a few, browning points. I think that if there is a Cinderella story, which means they weren't expected to make the playoffs, but they did, and they had a really hard path and they got there, cheering for them is probably an acceptable way of doing it. And other than that, that's it. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you have a good Super Bowl party. Eat lots of good food. If you are someone who is trying to eat healthier, don't go all buffalo wings. Please eat some of that celery and those carrots. Do something that's fun for you. And other than that, like, subscribe, talk in the comments, guys. Thank you. Bye.